Everybody, it's Doom here from Dungeons and Doom Biscuit. And earlier we made a boss room and a backdrop for the boss room, and now we're going to paint those up. So to get started, what we want to do is we want to get a couple different colors of gray and brown and paint some of the stones. And it doesn't have to be perfect and it doesn't have to be everywhere, but you want to kind of give these stones a little bit of oil. It doesn't have to be perfect. Sorry, I just need to get a little more paint. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to paint some of the stones for now. And I'm kind of doing a thin coat, if I can, so it dries quickly with the hot air gun. And I'm just picking out which stones are going to be which colors. And I have several colors pulled out here, so this can go fast. All right, I think that should be, we'll do like, what, 5 maybe of each color? Or until we run out. We'll come back and fill in the rest with like something else. Okay. Now I use pavement for my next one. Love pavement. Oops. And I'm going to use Peter Gray for the next 5. I don't know how many there are, so 5 is probably a gross undercount of what we need here. Then for the next one, I'm going to use Elephant Gray, which is significantly lighter than the others. You really don't want to get down in the cracks on the in between if you don't have to, but I did. That's okay. Usually when you think of heroes, it's usually like people that have done extraordinary things, or people that have fought in wars, or people that have fantastic athletic ability and stuff. And it's usually people that are older than you that are your heroes, people that you aspire to be. But I want to say something. One of my baby cousins is 18. And I was forwarded a recommendation letter he had been written by someone at his church. And reading it and thinking about the kind of man he's become, I was shocked. I really was. I was thinking to myself, wow, that is what we should want to be. A kind person who thinks of others. And as the more I think about it, the more I'm like, man, Doom, you're an ass. You need to really straighten up. I have never heard him say anything bad about anybody ever. I've only ever seen him go out of his way to help other people. When my little children come over, the little Dooms come over to play, they're 7 and 8. He goes out of his way to spend time with them, even though he's 18. And even if his friends are around and stuff, he doesn't ignore them. He's always pleased to see them. We went to his Eagle ceremony the other day where he was getting his Eagle Scout. And when they came running up after the ceremony, he hugged them so tight and was so glad to see them. And he's just an inspiration to how you want to be for people to respect you. He's smart and he's athletic, but he still makes time for everyone else. He has friends that I don't even know if I guess they're his friends. He has people he takes care of and looks out for in his group of people that aren't athletic, that aren't what you would call like cool guys. He's just, everything about him is what I aspire to be when I grow up. I say that as an old man. This one's that reddish brown chocolate bar I use a lot. I like this color. But I just wanted to say, it's strange, especially at my age, to come across someone and decide this is my hero. This is what I want to aspire to be. And I have them by 37 years. Or wait, how old am I? 45. So 27 years. In 27 years, I've not been able to become the man that this young fella has. And it's something else, man. I'll tell you what, it's definitely... I'm not ashamed that he's my hero either. And this last brown I have here, this is a different brand. This is Anita's. I don't know where I got this, if I'm going to be honest. And this is like a lighter tan color. Oh, whatever this Anita's brand, I do not like the coverage on it. I'm not impressed. All right. And then there's a bunch we missed doing it that way. I'm going to do a couple in dark blue. This is called English Navy. And I'm just mixing it with that brown and making a new ugly color. I'm going to get another dark blue. Maybe. It's called Admiral Blue. And then we can leave some of these black, but I don't want to leave a whole lot of them black. Let's see. Let's come back with, what's that one mid-tone? Pewter, into some of these other ones, just to get some variety on here. And I'm going to leave that little bit of blue in the paintbrush. All right, I think that's enough variety and yummy time goodness there. I'm going to set these all off to the side. I'm going to throw that brush down. Oh, I'm going to put them away. Might as well not leave them out. The color that I am leaving out is this elephant, though. So what we want to do is dry this off. So let's get the +5 hot air gun burning. Get you a piece of cardboard. Some of that. You want a really soft brush. This is just a makeup brush from Dollar Tree here. And you want to kind of work your way across. Picking up detail, little bits that stick up. Okay. Something like that. If you need a little bit more, get a little bit more. I'm going to go down this way, a different angle. And I'm not looking for perfection here. But there is a little texture from the different paints and Mod Podge drying and layers that have been in here. Now, in the cracks where it's not so dark anymore, that's okay. We're going to fix that. So don't worry about that kind of stuff. Just try to get a nice looking coat there. And then we're going to set that off to the side. I'm going to grab a different brush. And I have a very thin wash I'm going to use. This is just black wash that I made with dishwashing liquid, Dawn dishwashing liquid, water, and black paint. And whenever I'm worried that it's too dark, what I do is if I'm worried it's too dark for what I'm working on, which for this I don't think it will be, but I just add some of my whatever paint water I have into it and lighten it up. I don't get too fancy. So what I'm going to do is get this big paintbrush here. I'm going to get that. And then I'm going to paint it all out like it is. You're more worried about getting it down in the cracks. Okay. Once you have the whole thing covered like that, evenly spread out. Okay. And then what you want to do is get a rag of some sort. And just kind of dab off the top. And lighten it back up some. All right, and then we're going to hit this with the air gun real quick and see how it looks. +5 hot air gun of burning, because I know you guys like magic items. Alright, it's mostly dry. So I'm going to get some Mod Podge. Let me get, how much is in that? Not much. Try another little one. I don't want to use a big one and make a big mess. I'm just going to open up another one briefly here, quickly. And I don't know if you know this, you can get this at the Dollar Tree for these little packages that are easier to work with. Instead of, you know, I usually have those bigger jugs, but these are small. It's probably more cost effective to buy it in a bigger package, and it creates less plastic waste. But since I recycle these, you know, I use them again. So I'm just going to get us in. Something like that. And I'm going to get a really soft brush. And if your brush is damp, I used this earlier, so mine's damp from washing it out. That'll be perfect, so it'll make it spread a little easier. You want to get it on here. I'm going to get mine a little bit wetter. There we go. And I want to get it down in the cracks a little bit. Just really kind of seal this all in. And when this dries, I might need to get it hot with a hot air gun and flatten that out again, but I doubt it. You want to flatten something like this out, hit it with your hot air gun, and then put wax paper on it and put something heavy on it, and it'll dry super flat. Then you just pull that wax paper or parchment paper, whatever you have, off of it. I need a little bit more water. There we go. Get it all down in the cracks. So, I learned a valuable lesson. I brought it up earlier about never saying anything bad about anybody. Somebody was doing a public reading and they could not read well. And they were old enough that by all purposes they should not have to ask people what words are in the middle of a public speech, or at least have the knowledge that you don't ask that kind of stuff in front of a crowd. You just kind of do your best to figure out what the problem is. Well, he was doing his bad reading, and I made a joke about it afterwards. And I instantly felt guilty. All right, the rest of that will dry clear over time. So I'm done with this piece. So that's the game board, the boss room floor. See the white there? That'll all go away and dry clear. But we have a good, that'll be sturdy. I mean, it's already pretty sturdy because I made it out of a board game, but we'll have a sturdy, good boss fight floor. Now, we have this. And this is the backdrop for the boss fight floor. So we're going to get our cardboard back out. We're going to get a soft brush, preferably one that's dry, if I can find one. Everything's wet. Here we go. And let's get a medium brown. This is melted chocolate. You know, we're just going to squirt it right onto the cardboard here. Okay. We want to get down to the cracks the best we can. Okay. Don't worry if we don't get it all the way down the cracks. We're going to do a light wash on this as well. Okay. So I'm going to get a little bit of that gray that I had. That elephant gray. I'm going to mix that up with that brown. And then I'm going to get a new piece of cardboard and I'm going to get almost all that off. And then I'm going to come back and just break up my wood pattern a little bit. Like that. Then I'm going to hit this with the air gun. Now I'm going to do it on a low setting. Because if you remember, we glued all this together with hot glue. So then I'm going to get that same brush and more of that gray. Pardon me. I'm just going to hit it lightly across. Okay. I don't want that wood to look too new and vibrant. I'm going to set that off to the side. And let's do these books. So to do my books, I'm just going to get a small brush. And we'll just do some different colors. My brush is damp. We'll do a couple of these big books in red. And you can feel free to go a little bright on these. Try not to get it on your shelves. You'll regret that like I just did there. Okay. I'm going to paint downwards like this so that I don't get it on the shelves as much. Okay. And I'm not going for a perfection by any means. I'm just trying not to get it on the other books or on the shelf. Do a little more red. And these are going to be darker because we're going to, can't even English. We're going to put a wash on this. This is chocolate bar because I love it so much. Here we go. Try not to get on the shelf like I just did, if you can. Okay. Now I'm going to get a different brown. Where's that? There's that chestnut. I'll use a little bit of this chestnut. This is a really light orangish brown. And I don't know how much of this I want to use, because I don't know how obnoxious it's going to be on these books. Yeah, it's probably a little more obnoxious than I wanted, but that's okay. Like I said, we're going to use a wash, and that'll lighten this up some. Or desaturate this some, darken it up some. Now I'm going to use a medium brown. This is melted chocolate. We use this for the first brush on the shelves themselves. I really like this color. Something like this. And like, you see what I'm doing there? Like, as my brushes run out of paint, I just hit some books with it anyways and change the color some. Okay. All right. I'm going to do a few more of this because I think that this is probably going to be one of your most common colors you find on the bookshelf here when you're doing a lot of leather binding and stuff, I'm guessing. I'm going to do like a blue. I'm going to start with this award blue. It's really bright. I'm going to regret it instantly, I can tell. It's super bright. I don't know how many books I really want to do in that bright blue. Maybe not too many more. I'm going to switch to a darker blue. Back to that Admiral. I'm getting a light color. This is Coffee Latte by Folk Art. I hope this has good coverage. It doesn't have the best coverage, but it'll work for what I need. And I'm going to do a yellow. Because why the hell not? Okay. All right. Now, we want to do our wash, and we want to be careful. We don't want to make a giant mess. So get something with soft bristles. I'm looking for something right now. Something with soft bristles. And we're not going to go overboard with this, okay? And we're probably going to have to dump some of it out, too. But that happens, and that's okay. All right, make sure you get it all down your little cracks. Okay, something like that. Then we're going to get that same rag we used, or I'm going to use a Kleenex actually. I'm going to dab off my books a little bit. Just to brighten those up a tiny bit. Something like that. All right, now let's hit it with the air gun and see how it looks. Oops. Looks all right. So what we want to do is get a tiny brush. Let's get a couple metallics on here. I'm going to start with a metallic silver. This is called gunmetal gray. I'm just using army painter stuff right now. My brush is damp. I'm getting that little teeny bit of that, and I'm just going to give some of these books a little bit of love. All I'm doing is making some little lines on them, like you see on some books. If you have a little teeny paint marker or something, you could do the same thing with that too. I'm sure that would look just as good. I don't really know. Okay. I think I'm going to do a different color of that. Let me rinse my brush out. Now, I do not clean my metallics out in my mouth because I don't like that. They do have a taste. Like most paint doesn't really taste like anything. The metallics are gross, man. That book only has it on one part. It doesn't have two stripes. Okay, we're starting to get there, right? Starting to look like a bookshelf. And then I have one more gold color I can use, copper here, or weapon bronze. And then I have a brown one, metallic brown craft paint that would be awesome, I think, for this too. Get one more with this, and then I'm going to switch to that metallic brown. Rinse that brush, get that metallic brown. We'll call this a win, dudes. I'm going to hit it with the air gun again, and then we're going to Mod Podge it. Actually, I don't know if we need to Mod Podge it. I might just clear coat that. Let me see how the back looks. I don't want to melt it. Oh, no, we're going to Mod Podge it. Where's that metallic brown? Yes, here we go. Metallic chocolate brown. This should be beauteous. Oh, I don't need to wipe any of that off the brush either. It's not like obnoxiously vibrant or anything. Probably should have used that from the start. I love it. All right, so with a little bit of effort, some time spent, I have a really nice backdrop that I could use as a wall or anything that I wanted to, really, in a library or wizard tower or in a castle or any kind of, you know, indoor situation I want to decorate up. Even though it's pretty much, at this point, just glue it to the base and then see how it fits with the dungeon, I do have something else I want to do. I'm a little unhappy with how the shelves got too dark, so I'm going to get a soft bristle brush here, and I'm going to get a yellow. No, I'll get a beige. This is khaki. That's too big of a brush. Let me get something smaller. Something like this with just plastic bristles. And then I just want to hit up some of that wood just to lighten it up in a couple spots here and there. When you're making decisions like this, if you're kind of done and it looks okay, say, okay, and you want to do something else, say, is this next step going to add anything to this paint job? And if you start to do it and it's not noticeable or you don't think it's adding anything, you can just stop. There's no need to force it. Oftentimes, even with terrain, more so with miniatures, you'll get to a point where you're like over painting. You're just painting to paint at that point, and it doesn't help anybody. Okay. I'm going to drag out a couple books too. All right, so I am going to Mod Podge this, but I'm going to be doing that off camera. The reason I say that is because all this inside here, where that wash is, has to be completely dry before you Mod Podge it. And that'll make this sturdy. I'm also going to paint the back with Mod Podge too, so it'll be sturdy. Now I'm going to put this paint away, and we're going to put this thing together. Let's see how the boss room looks. All right. This is not quite dry, but it will be dry after a minute or two here. Here's the floor for the boss room. And that white showing kind of makes it look bad, but at the same time, it's not going to hurt us for any reason. Because when it dries, it'll look good, I think. I hope. So we're going to get our piece of cardstock here. And we're going to get a glue bead going across the back of that. Something like that. And we're just going to stick this down right on the edge, like that, and let that solidify and dry. It'll burn our hand a little bit. There we go, just like that. And then that just slides in there that way. And hold on, let's get this camera out of there. And that's what we have, something like that. Okay, so you're going to have your walls. You can use modular walls like I'm going to do for this fight. And you're going to have a modular door is what I'm going to use. I can show you guys how to make some modular doors real quick. I'll do that in another video though. So, but yeah. So I just need to let all this dry and then clear coat the shelves with the Mod Podge. And then we got a win here. And if you look at those shelves up close, you know, it's not bad. You know, you can definitely say, oh, okay, I see what that is here. Now, the light is so bright behind it. Let me cut that down some. See, the light won't shine through, so I'm going to have to paint those brown so when I'm up in the D&D room, it won't shine through like it did there. Anyways, if you like what I'm doing here, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell icon, share it with a friend, leave a comment. Go to our website and buy some minis, www.dungeonswag.com. There is a discount code in the description of this video, or will be soon, to get 25% off of your first month of our subscription box, which is basically like every month you get a box of minis sent to your house, whether it be goblins or orcs or hobgoblins, bugbears, gnolls, whatever it may be for the month, dwarves, elves, and you can buff out your collection that way inexpensively. We're two guys working out of our basement and garage. We're not a big corporation. We're not trying to steal from you. We're trying to give you good products for a good price, just like we would want to buy. It's the reason we started this company. So thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.